Sundays and Wednesdays, yeah. 8 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. It's the crew and you. Let's go.
You can't get any better.
Best thing about it, the way he did it the right way.
With the crew and you, to the crew and you.
Do y'all have anything to say about
What up, baby? Welcome to the crew and you. Congratulations to my dog, Chuck Little John, the OG.
Y'all didn't notice I've been changing hats all night, have you?
No.
You've been doing that. And so look, let me tell you, those dudes were the first one that I ever seen with the full tracksuit and no drawers. You know what I'm saying?
Understand that you can be at the bottom, you can be anything you want to be, and when that happens, you can be a champion like me.
Can you imagine 100 people just all yelling?
With the crew and you, to the crew and you. With the crew and you, to the crew and you.
What up, baby? Welcome to the crew and you. I'm your boy G. To my right hand side, we got Decatur's realist, Corey Davis. And underneath us both, man, we got none other than 4-time state champion, South Alabama alum, coach of the #1 high school in Georgia, 24th ranked high school in the nation, Mr. Coach Larry Thompson. My brother, welcome on, baby. Welcome on.
Appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for having me.
Man, thank you for taking your time out, man. Thanks for taking your time out. Hey, I want to jump right in with you, big dog. I want to jump right in with you.
Respect.
So, Coach, I've been watching you for a couple years now, man. I did a little AAU ball coaching. So I kind of followed you a little bit, but I want to take it all the way back to the beginning. Where you started from. Camilla, Georgia.
Camilla, Georgia, born and raised.
Born and raised in Camilla.
Country boy from the bottom of the map.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man. Born and raised. Actually, was born in Albany. If you were put in the hospital, but my mom and dad lived in Camilla, which is like 30 minutes south, about 45 minutes from the Florida line. Mitchell Baker High School, now Mitchell County High School, is where I fell in love with the game of basketball, man. That's where it all started for me. One of those things, being in a small rural city, you got to find your way. Wasn't very, very much outside of playing sports. And if you didn't play a sport, you got caught up in whatever the little street light was in that time. You know, it wasn't much, but I think we may have had maybe 5 traffic lights in my whole city. So it was small, man, but we hooped. And we went to the park. We went to Butler Street Park. We went to a spot that we called a hot box, and old middle school gym that had no windows. Very, very hot in the summertime, and that's where we kind of honed our skills and fell in love. Like I said, fell in love with the game of basketball. From there, man, I had an opportunity, of course, to play University of South Alabama over in Mobile, USA, Sun Belt Conference under 2 really, really good coaches, Bob Wedlick and John Pelfrey, who's at Tennessee Tech now. Those guys taught me what it means to prepare, taught me what it means to compete at a big time level. I would be remiss if I didn't mention my high school coach, the legendary Rufus McDuffie, who everybody that came out of Southwest Georgia or came out of that Camilla, if they got a chance to play for Coach McDuffie, man, you was gonna be disciplined, you was gonna work hard, and you was gonna earn your keep.
Okay.
So that's where I got my start.
Oh man, awesome. So how far is Camilla from Thomasville, Georgia? Is that
about 30 minutes?
About 30 minutes?
30 minutes. It's in between. Yeah, it's in between Thomasville. So you got Thomasville, Pelham, Camilla, Albany, which is all on US 19. So it's about a 30-minute drive. Did some damage there too. Went down and put points on the board down there. So it's all surrounding counties, man. All surrounding.
I asked that because my cousin Charlie Ward, so he's from Thomasville. So I knew when I saw Camilla, I was like, oh, he's pretty close, man. Thomasville. So
I think his youngest brother,
Chad.
Chad and I graduated together.
Okay.
We had some run-ins.
Yeah. That's awesome. So Chad's around probably about my age, probably just a little younger than me. So me and Chad was pretty close, man. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. So I see your mom. Your mom was a coach, huh? And
Yep.
a PE teacher, physical ed
Mom,
teacher.
health and physical education was her background. She's now, just recently retired guidance counselor, high school guidance counselor for a number of years. She coached. She coached basketball. She coached softball.
Okay.
I was in the gym with my mom. I mean,
Yeah.
like she go to practice during the summertime and June camps. I'm going with her. So I saw the what it took, and I saw the time and the dedication that it takes to mentor, shape, and train and mold kids. And I got it from her. My dad didn't. My dad didn't divvy into sports very much. But mom, man, my old girl, she's a lefty jump shooter, ward number 12, and I saw her do it. And not wanting to pattern myself or be like mom, but mom was in the gym coaching girls basketball, and some of her best friends were all coaches. So that's what the family, and I kind of got it from them.
Okay.
Got a question. So I got people from that Tifton Valdosta area, around that Lowndes County area also. I know that being from that area. Remember when you used to play different counties? Did y'all ever play Valdosta? Did you ever play Tifton up in that range?
My high school, Mitchell Baker, man, we were super talented in my era. Like Al Pinkins, he started that run of high school, football and basketball, won a couple state championships. So by the time I got to high school, 96 through 99, Valdosta, which Lowndes are football schools, they wasn't, the best in basketball when I was in high school.
Okay.
They wouldn't schedule us. We wouldn't play them. Football, we go see those guys play because Southwest Georgia, man, used to be a football county, man. Everybody football, everybody eat, sleep, and drink it down there. So that's what it was. But slowly but surely around that Al Pinkins and Al Pinkins area, 90, 85 to like 95, 96, 97, that time, almost 2000. Southwest Georgia basketball was really big, and it grew, and we came to love it, and that's what we do. So I never got a chance to play against any of the Lowndes, Valdosta schools. Tiff County we did play against because they was always pretty good in basketball, but didn't get a chance to lock horns with Lowndes and Valdosta.
Okay.
I
I got one more question here, and I'm curious. I'm making sure that I'm doing my homework well. Jalen Brown was one of your guys?
No, I didn't coach Jalen. Jalen went to Willie. He graduated in 2015. I didn't get the program until 2 years later, so I didn't get the opportunity to coach Jalen.
Okay.
Jalen won the last state championship for Coach Lipscomb. Yeah, 2015, his senior year, and I came aboard 2017, 18.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, my bad.
No, all good. I will make one correction. He said 4 times, actually 5 times. 2 at Green Forest, but nobody's counting.
Look, hey, coach, and I was like, I need to ask him if it's 4 or 5 because I see one in 2013 or something like that. So I wasn't sure, man. My bad.
Yeah, Green Forest, it was 15, 16. And then we've been fortunate enough to win 3 out of the last 4, and since we've been at Wheeler. So
okay.
So that was Coach Doug when they won the championship.
2015 was Coach Doug. Yep, Doug Lipscomb was 2015. Yep.
Okay.
So my bad, coach, man. I don't mean to slight you, brother. I don't mean to slight you.
No problem whatsoever, bro. Ain't nobody counting, man. We're just trying to keep this train on the track.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. So is it clear? I mean, is it okay to say, man, you may have gotten your coaching style or the love of coaching from your mom?
No question, no doubt about it. My mom is a diehard basketball fan. She watches all levels. Maybe not much as NBA now, but she's super, active in watching basketball games. We'll play a game on a Tuesday night, and I look up, and she's behind the stands. She's driven from Camilla to come just watch the game. She records a lot of the stuff that we do, and she asked for the game film after game, so I send it to her so she can go back and watch. And why we didn't do this and why we didn't do that? Like, listen, Pat Thompson, you wasn't in practice with us this week, so don't be questioning me. But nah, man, that's where I got it from. I love it. My old girl, man, she's a basketball junkie. She's a basketball junkie.
I love it, man. That's awesome. So you go in high school still, man, and you play. How you get hooked up with the Atlanta Celtics in the AAU?
Man, Atlanta Celtics, man, it wasn't just Atlanta kids for a while.
Okay.
I think Atlanta Celtics had a teammate by the name of Jermaine Jones and Ron Blackshear, two high level dudes, two guys that became pros.
Georgia boy, right? Jermaine Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Georgia, originally from Florida, but did high school in Georgia. He was a big time talent, and we had a couple other dudes in the Southwest Georgia area that were big time talent, and those guys made a name for themselves. And when they came and watched Jermaine work out, they also saw 5 or 6 of others that was a little bit younger.
Okay.
And so it was a collection of guys from our high school, maybe about 5 or 6, maybe more at one time, that would all jump into a 15-passenger van every Friday, and we would make the trip up to Atlanta and spend the weekend with a couple of coaches, practice once on a Friday night, twice on Saturday, once on Sunday, and then we'll go back until the summertime where we all just lived in Atlanta for the summer playing with the Celtics. So it was a big deal for us. We didn't have AAU like that in my hometown, and for a program like an Atlanta Celtics, which was one of the prize programs when I was coming up between Mix, which is now Georgia Stars, and Team Georgia, 3 big time programs that played on quote unquote, it wasn't a circuit then, but it was circuit like playing the bigger events. It was something special for those guys to, give us transportation to come pick us up every Friday, feed us houses, give us all the gear that we, needed to, survive with basketball for a summer, and then travel all over the land and country to hoop. It was a privilege, it's an honor, because most of the guys that came with us, our parents didn't have the necessary means or the know-how, or even have the relationships to even get us involved with AAU. That made us in South Georgia. So got involved with that by, having 2 really, really high-profile teammates already have a little name for themselves. And when they came to watch him work out, of course, we were working out with him. A couple coaches was like, yeah, we need all these dudes because all these dudes can play. So they started getting a contingency of guys from Albany and Randolph Clay, Mitchell Baker, all those surrounding counties, and kind of, adopted us and made us Atlanta Celtics.
Okay.
I got people. My wife, she has people from Pritchard, Alabama. Tell me about your South Alabama time down there, because I got, I know a few. My old roommate, he went to Viger High School there in Mobile. Hung out in Pritchard a little while. And like I said, my wife, her great grandma still lives in Pritchard. I don't know if she's still. I apologize, but at the same time, my Uncle James, he got some people around Talladega, Alabama. So all those little small towns or whatever that. It ain't too many places to kick it, but tell me about your time in South Alabama.
Oh man, Mobile was good to me. Like for real, like seriously, I could really move back and live in Mobile. Mobile was that nice to me.
Wow.
Wow.
It reminded me of my hometown somewhat, just bigger, super friendly people. I didn't do too much hanging out in PA. I was told when I was there it was a little rough. You stayed out of that dark, man. I was dating a chick that lived in Pritchard for a minute, and you go over there and the sun is up. Don't be still over there chilling out with when the sun go down. You gotta get on I-10 and get back down to Airport Boulevard. So Mobile, man, was great, super great. Me being in Atlanta as a teenager playing with the Celtics, working in the city a lot of my teenage years, it kind of showed me something different. And then you go down to Mobile and you got Pensacola, you got Moss Point, you got Biloxi in New Orleans, like 111 miles away. It was just a lot to do.
Wow.
A lot to do. Never bored. Got plenty of friends that's over in that area. It was easy living. I mean, playing college basketball, going to school. Never a dull moment. We used to find ourselves going to Roy Jones's little spot, on Airport Boulevard and going downtown. It was a lot to do in Mobile at that particular time, man. And I wouldn't trade my time in Mobile for nothing. It was great.
That's what's up.
I love it. So, Coach, so when you finished college, did you jump right into coaching after that, or did you venture on to something else, man? Because I do see you did AAU with the ATL Celtics. Is that Celtics, but the Select?
Select. Yeah. So I did a little bit of. I didn't jump right in. My issue or my calling, of course, eventually became mentoring, training, coaching. But I went and played had to be 4 or 5 years overseas. My first job was in China.
Okay.
And then Yeah. And then I kept the job year round. Went to the Balkans area, Macedonia, Kosovo, in that area, and that's when I started getting hit with the injury bug. I tore my ACL my first year overseas. End of the season, rehab during the summer. Went back, played a season and a half, then tore my other ACL. So it was the first 2-3 years was injury riddled, and then finally I got healthy again in year 4 and 5, and then I popped my Achilles. So it was like in a 4 or 5 year span, I had 3 major injuries, and it kind of put me in the mindset I need to start figuring out what's next. I was always helping out with a couple AAU programs right there over at New Birth. It was the Southern Kings. One of my guys, Morris Gordon, used to run Southern King. I would help out them. And then I have a degree in finance or whatnot. So I was doing some financial stuff with 2 different companies. And then I settled on not going back 1 year. And I started using my degree in the financial service industry with Washington Mutual Bank, doing some financial advising. So I took a slight veer from the basketball world and then into corporate America. But at the same time, I was leaving there, still playing in men's league, still going to mentor training and hang out with kids. And when I bought my first piece of property in Lithonia, an old AAU team of mine who was the head coach at MLK, who's now the head coach at Paideia, Eddie Johnson, was riding through the neighborhood, brand new subdivision. And I like, Eddie, man, what you doing over here? Like, he's like, bro, I just bought a house here. So I'm like 10 houses down. And he knew I was still hooping and all that kind of stuff. He's like, yo, you ever want to work out? Told him what was going on with the rehab and all that type of stuff. He's like, well, I'm the head coach at MLK, about 10 minutes from here. Come hang out with us, come work out with us, come show my young crew some couple things. I was like, bet. When the next time y'all practice, he's like, we're going at 9 a.m. It was a Saturday morning. I get to the gym by 8:15, walk in with them and see some of the young guys. It put me in the mind frame of myself back in my high school days on how eager guys were just to get in the gym. That's all we had to do in South Georgia. So it took about 15 minutes to realize this is what I wanted to do. I thank Eddie a lot for, giving me the opportunity to come and get up and down because I was still playing myself. As we was playing and, working out, guys was like, yo, the old head can hoop. I mean, I wasn't the old head, really.
To them, yeah.
Right. And one of those dudes that was on that team is now a professional. Kevon Harris played the Orlando Magic. Kevon Harris was one of the dudes I used to, beat up a little bit because he was a little bigger than the rest of the kids, but he really took a liking to what we was doing. And after practices, he wanted to talk about certain, footwork moves and stuff like that. And some of the other kids saw it. So I started meeting them before school, getting the workout in myself, working out with them, and then coming back for practice at the end of the day. After that season, I did able to get certified to be a community coach because I was like, yeah, this is it. So did that for 2 years with Coach Johnson, man, and then some things went a little bit differently where he stepped away and went to another school. One of my big brothers and mentors, Roy Griffin, who is now the head coach at Green Forest, he was on my staff at when I was at Green Forest. He hit me up and was like, look, we can go over to Green Forest and keep this train going because Rory was also on the staff at MLK. Okay. So we both went over to Green Forest, was on Nick LeGroon's staff for 1 year. Coach LeGroon left and went to SEMO as a Dobo. And
now, when you say Green Forest, right there on by Interstate 20?
Yeah. Green Forest Christian Academy. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Small private school. Did a lot of good things over there. So in my second year,
you've been modest, coach. You've been modest over there, coach. Was that two state champions over there, coach?
Yeah, I won that 2 years.
Okay, yeah, I know. You won the 2, right?
Yeah.
You won the 2?
2 for 2. 2 for 2.
2 for 2. 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Okay.
Well, who's counting? Nobody counting.
Nobody counting.
But yeah, Nick LeGroon left as a head coach after his first year. And in that second year, the headmaster there was like, kids love you. So I was assistant coach for 2 years, a year and a half at Green Forest, a year at MLK, and then a year at Green Forest. And then I got my first head job, my third year coaching high school basketball. And it's been, nothing but a fun ride since then. So that's a little bit more the story how I got into coaching, man. But AAU world, it's something that I always did with Southern Kings, and my son had a group of friends where we played under Atlanta Select, which is a club team that used to be affiliate of the Atlanta Celtics. Those guys that was coaching with Atlanta Celtics kind of branched off and did their own thing, man. So I always been around the kids, even when I was playing. But I knew, after that third injury, that it was time for me to start, figuring out what was going to be next.
And you mentioned your son, Coach, and I do want to say our deepest condolences and are with you and your family, man.
Appreciate that, brother.
Prayers are always with you all, bro.
Thank you.
So 2017, that's where we jump to now, man, and that's when you take over from, like you said, Doug Liscombe, 600 wins.
Wow.
A legend in Marietta, and you take over a organization, a school that's been known for winning.
Yeah,
that's not new to you.
Yeah,
because you're a winner.
Yep.
So I think I know they chose the right guy, but how was it for you to jump from Green Forest to Wheeler?
I think the biggest difference for me was strictly the school size. Like private school, single A private, you're talking about 60 kids at most in the entire school at GF, K through 12, and then
60
at the most.
Yeah.
At one time, because of the founder of the church, or the pastor of the church, passed away a few years before I got there, and the enrollment kind of fell on church and school. So it was in a dire situation. It's not that now. It's actually been built back up. So it was a really, really good situation. But when I was there, we didn't have that many students in the school, and the majority of the students were the athletes, basketball players, majority of them. So the biggest difference for me was strictly the school size. I went from doing a PE class where I got 9 and 10 kids to I got the entire school population at Green Forest in my PE class at Wheeler. That was the only difference for me, because basketball is basketball. The goal is still 10 feet, floor still 94 by 50, and I still teach the same way. So walking into a situation that was already built somewhat, they had a few years of, I ain't gonna say mediocrity, but they were not the norm. And I think me getting that situation or being blessed with that situation was just what I needed, because on the single A private side, when I was at Green Forest, it seems like St. Francis, Green Forest had a lot of talent. Malik Beasley, Kobe Simmons. We played for the state championship probably the first 5-6 years of whatever was going on in single A private. And not saying I didn't know about Georgia high school basketball, because I'm a Georgia high school basketball guy, but I didn't feel like the talent level was going to supersede anything what I faced at GF for those 2 years.
Okay.
But of course it was wrong. And going into a situation where Coach Doug did have over 600 wins, and he had won 6 titles of his own while he was there. I mean, legend is simply what it is. And I got asked that question, how did it feel, coming behind Coach Lip? And
I was just about to ask you that.
I mean, I look at it like this right here. I mean, you always got to go behind somebody in whatever you're doing. It just so happened that Coach Lip had, really, really built that thing out over the last 20 years he was there. So kudos to what Coach Lip did. He put Wheeler, or helped put Wheeler on the map. I never looked at it as falling a legend. I never put that kind of quote unquote pressure, on myself or for the program in that matter. I tried to make it my own. The way Coach Doug went about his business was the way he did. The way I went about, the way we go about ours, how I go about mine, is totally different. At the end of the day, the work is the work. There's no shortcut. I mean, you got to spend a lot of time in the gym with the kids. You got to, develop, shape, and mold. You got to have the right admin that believe in your vision and believe in your goal. And we did that, fairly quickly. Year one, we lost to a really good Newton County team in the Elite Eight, Ashton Hagen senior year, EJ Montgomery senior year, on the road. But that, to me, year one was a culture building year for me. I got the program really, really late. They made a change, in late July. I think I got the job on a Thursday and started back officially on that Monday. So I didn't have June with those guys. So it was year one was it was a blur, and year one and year two were coach or building years, and we was fortunate enough to do some things early on to make year three special because we won in year three. So coming behind Coach Lip and pushing the program forward, you hear the street committee. He shouldn't have took that job. That's too big. Coming from private. I say it to say this. If you ain't doing nothing, people ain't gonna talk about you. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, want the challenge. Wanted to be put in a situation where, it's sometimes at Green Forest you could kind of just not prepare for games because the competition wasn't the best night in, night out. I like the preparation. I like the film watching. I like the game plan. I like to have guys prepared and knowing the tendencies of other teams who they're about to face. And so at 7A, that's nightly. You got to do that every single night, no matter who it is. So the preparation and the way you go about your business from watching film and doing pregame scouts and things of that nature, I wanted that. I wanted to have that challenge, and we made it our own very, very quickly.
So with your success, we just realized, we just found out. Well, not say just found out. With, like I said, with that same type of intensity, with that same type of drive, Amir Abdul Rahim, was at Kennesaw State, and he just got promoted. He just got, I guess you call it promotion, right?
Promotion.
Right. So when you do a good job, you end up being seen by a lot more people out there. Let me ask you, with your success now, do you see yourself moving if that opportunity comes, or are you solidified? Are you trying to solidify yourself there? Where you are. If the opportunity comes, are you willing to take that challenge on?
That's a great question. Been approached several times, turned down a couple situations that I didn't think was right for me. Okay. I'll be remiss to say if the right opportunity came about, I wouldn't explore it. I mean, I'll be saying a lie if I didn't think about, can I be successful at the next level or help a program be successful? Because it's not about me, by no stretch of imagination. Right situation came about, we would have some real conversation. We will definitely explore it and see if it's the right move for me and my family. I love Wheeler. I love what we do. I love the people I'm around every day. I love the situation that we've been blessed with. But I'm a man of challenges. I want that on my resume as far as becoming a collegiate or upper level coach. Absolutely. That's not why we get into business, but the more we study, the more we grow, the more we learn. Success brings on more challenges. So I would be remiss to say if I didn't, but I'm not in a hurry. It'll be one of those times where is the time is right, and who knows when the time is right. I'll just know. At the end of the day, man, we're gonna continue to keep our head down. We're gonna continue to be humble. We're gonna continue to keep working and trying to help as many kids as possible get an opportunity to play collegiate basketball for free while getting a great education at the same time. I don't know if that answers your question, big dog, but the right one would be, I don't know what the right one is, to be honest with you, but if that opportunity presented itself, I'm not gonna shun away from. I'm gonna definitely get the information, have the meetings, have the conversation, and go about selecting if that move is the right one.
And that's an honest answer. Most of the time, people don't think about that question come about. They don't think about the opportunity coming ahead. But when success comes, challenges come, and then at the same time, more opportunities come. So a lot of times when that do happen, I get it. You're going to be asked.
Right. Well, we had those conversations, man. I talked to my principal a lot about it. He kind of, had braced himself every summer for the past, 3 summers. It's just something that, like you just said, when you have a little bit of success, man, people want to kind of surround themselves with, people that have been successful. And I feel like we just now scratching the surface, being honest with you. I think we got a lot of work to do because we've been good on the in-state competition level. We still got a ways to go to be nationally, recognized on a year-to-year basis. And that's always been my goal, to build a program where not only you're good in the state, you can go outside of your border states and still have, some of the success. So that's where we at. That's what we're doing. It's one of those things that, again, if it comes about, we'll have a conversation, and then we'll survey the land when that time comes.
Good. So Coach, you say, and we're here today, man, to give you your flowers. I think you're a hell of a coach.
Appreciate that, bro.
So I want to give you your flowers, man. I think the last 3 years, I think you only have one loss in the region. Is that right? I think it's
who you lost to?
41 and 1, I believe it is.
Hold on. Who you lost to? No, I'm just messing with you.
No, you're right. He's right. We lost to Kale in the region championship in 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scoot Henderson's last year of high school.
Yeah.
How'd that loss affect you, Coach?
Pissed me off.
Yeah.
Believe it.
I mean, it was in the region championship, and the first championship we won at Wheeler in year 3, we didn't win the region. Matter of fact, Pebblebrook was basically kicking my ass when I first got the job over there, like 4 or 5 straight losses, and they beat us at a shot at the buzzer the year before, and then I think Westlake won the region the year that we won the state championship. So outside of winning a region tournament at Green Forest, when I got to Wheeler in the first 2 state championships, I wasn't part of winning a region, and that's big in the state. You know what I mean? You want to own your conference. You know what I mean? You want to own your conference. So yeah, I was pissed off. I was upset. I got it. So a bunch of photos and pictures of they pouring water on their coach in my gym and in our locker room. So yeah, I mean that was added fuel going into the state tournament, and it gave us a tougher road to get into a state championship game because we played one home game, and then we became road warrior. We had to go to Savannah in round 3, and we had to go to Lanier in round 2. So it was a tough road, and then we played a really, really, really good Centennial team in their building the COVID year, during the COVID year. So it was a tougher road, but I always say, man, toughness, breed confidence. And when you face a little bit of adversity, you get to see who you really are as my own individual and see what kind of troops we had with us, man. And we was blessed and fortunate enough to figure out a way. So, but no, to answer your question, bro, I was pissed. I was.
So this season, man, and you talk about the troops that you had, and we'll jump into this season right here. And could I go on a limb and say this might have been your toughest season, your challenges wise, with everything going on?
No doubt about it. It ain't even close. So emotional, so mentally taxing. Because my son Khalil, he was a big part of every one of those dudes' lives. With the exception of maybe the freshman that came in because he didn't have as much time. I take that back because all preseason he was with those guys. So he worked those guys out every day. He was going to coach the summer league team and all that stuff. So that made it more mentally taxing and emotional. And we had a lot of games, man, where Isaiah and we just had to walk away because he was in locker rooms with us pregame, and he's just around because I was gonna make him a coach pretty soon because he was just around that much. And to go through what we went through and what we're still going through, it was only because of him. We were so mentally and physically dialed in on the moment every single day. Nobody in that locker room wanted to let Khalil down. We had some drag out fights, daily with guys shouldering their part of the load, and guys held each other accountable. Like I didn't have to preach very much in effort and energy. Seniors, they kind of policed that, and they didn't shy away from it. So I don't know, man. I mean, it happened August 15th, and you got September. August 15th is when the accident happened. 14th when that son happened, and 2 weeks into school, we had already started preseason, lift weights and all that kind of stuff, and he was a part of it every single day. And 2 weeks after it happened, those guys were like, "Yo, we gotta do this shit for Khalil," and that's when the LLK, Live Like Khalil, kind of hashtag
took off.
Kind of took off, and guys bought into it. They were invested, and again, I think his memory, playing for his memory, was one of the reasons why we were so together all year long. And I don't know, man. Without the basketball season being around the corner when that happened, I don't know what the hell we would be as a family, as a group. Because if it was March or April right now, and basketball season don't come back until October, man, mentally you don't know where you'll be. So my young boy said he had to go, and he knew the right time because he knew Pops and fam would have a distraction to help them first, first 6 months of this ordeal, man. But I would tell you a lie, man. There's been some days where I don't even feel like doing it. I don't want to go, but you get to school, you get to work, you see the smiles on some of the kids' faces, and they talking about, hey, we need to get better here. And it's like, you know what? Let's live like Khalil, man. Let's just let it all hang out. And day by day, put one foot in front of the other. And we was able to, come together for a common goal. But the emotional toll, extremely, extremely taxing. Extremely taxing. But it was worth it.
And then, I'm sorry, go ahead, Corey.
My bad. I would say, since you were talking about it, tell me about your squad, man. Tell me what we're getting to look at. Tell me about some of the kids that you got, man.
Man, I think I had one of the most talented groups that I've, ever had the privilege of coaching, man. I've had some pretty good dudes, man. I'll start with the seniors, DJ Mitchell, kid that will be making his decision or already made his decision, but he'll be let it be known public here. It's the last of the 6 seniors I had. All 6 of them are going to play somewhere. All 6 of them, extremely proud of that.
Wow.
He's the last one to, get it done. Man, I had some really tough dudes. DJ Mitchell's the first one I'm gonna talk about because he was in the program all 4. He got there from East Cobb, and he's the epitome of what a high school basketball player is, freshman year. And in today's time, man, you have so many misinformed or misguided people that think the world's supposed to stop because little Junebug is playing basketball right here and not knowing how to grow in the process. Parents never wavered. They trust the process because he was a JV guy his freshman year and wouldn't shoot the basketball, could handle, would always defend, but couldn't shoot. Wasn't physically ready to be a varsity guy as a freshman. Same thing as a sophomore, even though he started freshman year JV, sophomore year JV. He dressed varsity his 10th grade year, but didn't have a role at all. Didn't really play varsity basketball till his junior year. That's when he became a lot better because that kid worked. Had a role his junior year. And started for us and one of our most important dudes all year long. Super proud of that kid. Calvino Mitchell, call him Vino. He's another one of those guys that started with us as a freshman. His brother played for me. Then they left and moved to Kentucky. He came back summer of his 10th grade year and took him a little while to get some academic stuff in order. He just made his decision, go to Albany State a couple days ago. Another kid that was a blue collar, hard hat kind of dude. Cam Brown is a kid that we got as a sophomore, 6'9" kid that needed a ton of work.
6'9"?
Yeah. Got as a sophomore and took him a little while to understand what it means to work daily. I was in a situation where they felt like he wasn't getting the proper development, and haven't played his best basketball yet. His best basketball is still a couple years away because he was just so far behind, but he's going to play collegiately. And then the 3 guys that signed Power 5 deals was Jelani Hamilton, who's going to Iowa State. Great basketball player, good shooter, excellent student, just all around well-rounded kid. And then 16 Aaron Page, who's going to USC, and then Isaiah Collier, which we all know. So on the USC, man. Those 6 guys, man, were the epitome of a team. They played a lot of games together for the most part. They loved each other. They loved being around each other. I think it was just the quickest bonding group I've ever had. Those dudes were around each other every day. You saw one, you saw 8 of them. It's just how they do it. I knew then early on that this group was going to be special because of how much they like being around each other. No egos, no extra entourage. It's just we're all around good dudes. And then you add in Josh Hill, Ricky McKenzie. You add in the four freshmen that came in, and then a couple other dudes that Julian Ormond and a couple other guys that have been around the program for a while. It's a good mixture of old and mostly new. And then right there in between are guys that have played a little high school basketball, but at lower levels.
You're not losing your starting five, are you?
No. 3 guys are moving on. 2 guys started some. Actually, 3 guys that are back that started some games for us. We didn't start the same 5 guys the whole year. A couple guys was out injured, got some illnesses. Things happen over the course of the year, so you have to mix and match. But 2 guys that probably started somewhere in the ballpark of 10 to 15 games, got a lot of experience. Playing high level AAU, got AAU. They'll be back. They'll be back to lead the crew, and hopefully we'll be back in the winning circle again. But we got a lot of work to do this summer, and those guys got to get better, and they got to push each other, in our workouts when we start back in June when we get back together. But my crew, man, was big time, man, big time.
Big time crew. And on top of that, Coach, this was your national schedule that you had this year too, right?
Yeah, it was.
Tell me about that schedule.
Somebody should have slapped the schedule maker about that schedule, man.
Coach, they did you wrong, Coach. I'm gonna tell you right now, but they did you wrong.
I tell you one thing though. What December did do for us, it exposed us in places that we didn't think we had some issues, and then it made some guys wake up to say, you know what, I'm not as good as I thought I was. You know what I mean? Like, I got to get better. National schedule, man, we started off, we played a really, really good Etowah team, first game of the year. North Gwinnett team that went to Elite Sweet 16, and then we played defending 6A champs who beat us the previous year, Grovetown, our first 3 games. So our first 3 games were really big Georgia tests, and then we went on the road and played in City of Palms. I mean, before we went there, we played the Boozer Twins, played Kimball from Texas, who didn't lose another game after we beat them.
How good is the Boozer Twins, man? I heard at one point, man, them bad boys was 1-2 at one point. How good are they?
That shit ain't fair.
and what are they sophomores now?
They're sophomores now. Because the thing about it is, you always hear about former pros kids, like if they got more than one get it and the other one don't. That shit ain't fair, man. Sorry.
Hey, that honesty is brutal, ain't it?
I love it, man. I love it, Coach. I love it.
The biggest of the boozers, the taller one, the 6'9" kid, he is a problem. I think he can go to college right now and do some of the same things as a sophomore in high school and go do some of the same things he's doing now. And then his older brother, but smaller brother, I mean, he's super athletic and shoot the blood out of it. So
wow.
He did something right. Carlos Boozer did something right, man. He got 2 that, from his tree that probably going to be a lot better than him, even though he was really good in his own sense. But that was probably the start outside of Kimball from Texas, who didn't have like a recognizable national dude. It was just a tough group from, right outside of Dallas. And, we played them. That started our national gauntlet. So we go from Kimball to the Boozer Twins. And then we get right on a plane and fly down to Fort Myers, and you play Carter Knox with, Tampa Catholic, and Jared McCain at Corona Centennial, and then Paul VI, and then Imhotep. Imhotep, then Paul VI. That's all in a week.
All in the week.
That's all in the week. So I should, kick my own way for agreeing to the schedule the way it was, but it is what it is, man. I tell guys all the time, a December or January loss have never bothered me. Because you can't hang a banner in December and January, and if you haven't played anybody in December, January, February, you won't hang a banner in March because you won't know what it looks like to be faced with adversity, because you're gonna face some adversity in any state championship run that you're on. So the schedule that was made, leaving City of Palms and then going down to Columbia, playing in Chick-fil-A, where you run into a team that didn't lose a game all year, John Marshall out of Virginia, and then playing Bishop Gorman, and then playing Sierra Canyon. Like, then playing Newton on ESPN. Like our schedule was brutal.
Yeah, brutal.
We had one of the toughest, prep schedules, in the season last year, and to, go 26-5 or 26-6, whatever it was, man. I think we did a hell of a job of staying together when times were tough, because early on in the season, when you playing these national games,
I can tell you that
you've only had, a month of practice,
Mhm.
and you're practicing to get ready for the next game, because those games come in quick strings. And we didn't become ourselves till we, got past December, and then got back home and changed our practice habits and shooting the ball more and working on situational stuff. You don't have enough time to do it when you're in December. But our schedule was brutal, man, and I'll do it all over again in a heartbeat. I just will put some time in between some of those travel, because we lived out of suitcase for like a month.
I was just about to ask you, like, did y'all come home or y'all was just going from hotel to hotel? What was
it seemed like we went from stop to stop, but we left City of Palms and came home for Christmas. And then a day after Christmas, we jumped on the charter bus and went over to Columbia, came back from Columbia, played a game or two, and then hopped on the plane and went to Springfield, Massachusetts, and then came home for a day, and then went to California, went to LA and played Sierra Kane. So for a while, it felt like we was plane, train, automobile hopping, but we came home for a day or so, 2 days, and then got back to it. It made us who we were. It made us tougher. A lot of adversity. Being out on the road, you got a chance to learn about each and every kid, because it's just you guys. Exactly. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that made our run. It's one of the reasons why we went, undefeated in Georgia competition, because we played a surefire tough schedule at the beginning of the year.
That Sierra Canyon game, was that how hyped up were the kids?
66-55, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Man, it was. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I felt like we left money on the table out there. We really did, because we led, first 3 quarters, and then a little home cooking. I never blame anything on the officials, but the third and fourth quarter, actually the entire game, we didn't shoot a first free throw till about 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. They shot 29 free throws for the game. We shot 11, and that
29-11.
They had 29 attempts for the game, and we had 11. We was up 14 at halftime, and it seemed like the third quarter was the longest quarter I ever seen, because of the number of fouls that were called. Again, I never make excuses for not winning a basketball game, but it helped being on the road. And I almost told a couple of them dudes, I got 2 kids that's coming out here to play next year. I might make them decommit how we got treated out here. So I better tighten up. If we ever come back out here, we need to get a little bit more love, man.
Yeah.
But it was great though. Seriously, that event was big time, man. You got press row and everybody from 2 Chainz to you name it was at that game, and they got the kids, they want to play in that kind of atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
I go back and watch that film probably once every other week, just to see where we did some stuff late in that game, where we did wrong, where we could have been better, and it didn't hurt that our best player went out in the game in the third quarter with about 5 game minutes. He was throwing up. Isaiah couldn't keep anything down. So we went from being up 7 or 8 when he was out, when he was in, and then when he went out, that lead kind of changed. It didn't hurt that they shot a ton of free throws, but that experience alone was big time, man. First class hotel, first class treatment, first class game and atmosphere. Think I'm gonna try to do it again here in a year.
Okay, good. So you come back home, man, and now you're getting ready to make this run for the state championship.
Yep.
To defend the title, right? So
right.
I got a picture, man. I'm looking at Wheeler, man. Wheeler doing it big over there, baby. That's how y'all gonna let the Megan.
I'm thinking that ain't no yellow school bus.
Yellow school bus. I think y'all eyes are deceiving you. That's yellow, man. That's straight yellow, man.
Hey, whoa, okay, nice.
I told you I got a great admin, man. Great principal, great AD. They like us a little bit, so they take care of us a little bit. So
y'all treat the kids well.
Yeah, man. They handle their business, and there don't be problems in the classroom, and probably got less than one student on my program that's have an under 2.5 GPA. So it's
That's excellent.
they
That's
do what they're
excellent.
supposed to do, and then they can enjoy some of the finer things in high school
There you
basketball.
go. There you go. The fruits of their labor, man. So
Yes, sir.
that's good. That's
Yes,
good,
sir.
man. Well deserved, man. Well deserved, coach. I want to go back to, and you always talk about player development,
Mhm.
and I think that you are huge in player development. I've seen my son with the South Gwinnett, and
Mhm.
we had Turtle, Jaheim Hudson,
Mhm.
and Max Harris on the
Yep.
squad. They ended up leaving
Yep.
and coming to you all.
Mhm.
Um, I seen with my own eyes their development just from the little bit of time that they were with you
Yep.
in the summer league, and then in the games, man. You had it for 2 years, I guess,
2
after
years.
that,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
I seen their development, their growth, man. How big is that to you for player development?
Oh, it's the lifeline of our business, man. It's the lifeline of our business. Some parents entrust us to, have their kids come to, 375 Holt Road, and hopefully they, get a well-rounded young man as well as a pretty decent basketball player. We have a phenomenal staff, Coach Shep, Coach Rich, and those dudes spend a lot of, man hours along with myself in the gym, and you're only as good as the people you have around you. And I think I got two of the best, in the state. Now, I put our staff up against anybody. Coach Shep is a madman with the Vertimax training and the, on-court stuff. And Coach Rich is a former college coach. Those two dudes could actually run programs right now if they wanted to. Coach Rich probably will be doing that pretty soon. Coach Shep has a pretty great, work life where he works in his family's business, so he do it around his time. But we have a great staff, man, that spend a lot of time dissecting and picking at each individual kid's strengths while making the strengths they have, coming in the door super strengths, and then turn their weaknesses into things that people didn't know was a weakness. That's something that we pride ourselves on every single day, is helping kids get better all around in their individual game. Like it's important. It's more important than running a ball play. It's more important than seriously winning games, because if we make these kids or help these kids, because it's the kids that's doing the work, but if we establish what holes or deficiencies they may have and they want to play the game at an elite level, then we got to do our job of helping them get better and holding them accountable. In doing so is huge. Don't tell me you want to be a college basketball player and I tell you got to meet me at the gym at 5:30 every day for 6 months, and you miss 6 days because you got something that's going on or you got an excuse.
Right.
We don't do excuses. You say you want to be X, Y, or Z, so we're gonna put a plan together, each individual kid, and try to help them get to that level. Now, they got to do the work. They got to, have some tunnel vision and sacrifice some social time with friends and video games, stuff of that nature. But for the most part, man, we've been blessed to have a array of different skilled kids that want to be great and want to find a way to get to school for free. And if and when we lock in on kids in the gym and we do what we're supposed to do for a consistent period of time, they have no choice but to go up. And then the confidence, because they put in the work, it shows on the court.
Coach, you hit me with something, man, and it made me think, but it touched me for a second. You said parents entrust you with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm gonna throw a curveball at you real quick. And it's just on the coaching level right here.
Mm-hmm.
South Georgia was hit with we like I said, me or us on this show. We talked about this before. There's a coach down there, Mark Taylor, and the racism portion came back when it came out that like you said, parents entrust their children with these coaches to do the right thing, to like I said, to put them in a position where they become better players. Like you were talking about your coach Shep with the Vertimax training. It's
right.
Stuff like that where they have to shape and mold these kids to be better. Tell me about how you feel when it comes to a coach's standpoint, when parents like us entrust, like I said, you as a coach, not like I said, basketball, football, just on a coaching level, when you entrust your child with a person like yourself, when racism comes in, how does that let down the kid, or what do you feel like Mr. Taylor how did he let down that athletic community in South Georgia? Or do you know much about it?
Dude, I heard it. I did. I heard every word of it. Coaching is a privilege. It's a privilege. You are being in a situation where you can impact young people. I had it. You had it. We all had it. We had somebody in our lives that kind of, I want to attach my cart to that horse because they doing something positive.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I look at it. Like, it's a privilege to have kids call me coach, because I'm not just coach today. I have kids that have already graduated and they, hey coach, I need this, or coach, I'm having this. Like, so to hear what happened in that capacity is damaging, is hurtful. Dudes shouldn't have the privilege to be called Coach Taylor, because that's not what mentors do.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a lot of reprimand. But you know the kind of world we live in, they slap on the wrist and sweep that shit under the rug. And at the end of the day, man, it just show people who they really are. So as a whole, as people, we got to do a better job of doing our homework before we let our kids go be around certain individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how that's done, per se, because people don't show their true face card all the time. It takes certain situations to make that come out. And I don't even know why that incident or why he was recording himself in that manner. But I mean, I appreciate you for showing you who you are, because if I can help it, you'll never coach a kid that I have any, ties to or close to, or a family I know who was thinking about it. Can't do it, because like you said, our parents are entrusting, people that are been put in these positions to help their young man, woman, child, whatever it is, to be better. I also got to put some onus on these institutions for not being so pressed to make splash hires and retreads, guys that have been situations and it didn't work, and they still getting chance after chance after chance. That entitlement gene sets in, and they feel like they can, do whatever they want in certain situations. So it's time to give, fresh legs and fresh start to people who, haven't, had that opportunity. How can they get it? They don't get opportunity. How can we make change if we don't get opportunity to? But I guess to answer that question, man, how did it made me feel that, we got a ton more work to do. And we got to educate our kids better on trying to ask the right questions when they go into these visits and they go into these situations about things that really doesn't pertain to being on the field or on the court, about life. What kind of dude are you? Like,
Right.
Sure. Political status or standpoint, and that shouldn't be the case, and we should be making a decision on if I can, go and be successful. But we live in a different time, man. It's pretty evident that we still got a long ways to go.
So one last question on that. So I got, like I said, big, huge part of my family is in the North, and they talk about, like I said, they have collegiate kids also. Now you, like, us, I'm from the South myself. You know what I mean? We deal with something, or we see things that most people from the North don't see, or from the West don't see, which is small piece of racism. Sometimes, we deal with it a little bit better than most because they don't see it. We grew up around it. How do you convince a kid to come to a program like yourself? Let's say, like I say, though you play on a national level, how do you get a kid to come down and say, listen, you're gonna still get the same opportunities as anybody else, but I'm gonna show you the better way. How do you do that?
I mean, in our situation, man, like seriously, and I say this with all due respect, my phone rings a lot, and it be the informed parents that want more for their child, their kid, their son. Mm-hmm. We don't have to seek out and ask people to come to Wheeler. We don't. Like, since the season ended, I've had, tons of phone calls. Coach, we know you're losing 6. What do you look like in this spot? I got this. I got that. I got this. I got that. And it's one of those things where parents are in the loop, and they are in more control than ever before. When I say parents, it's called play. player has freedom, like college basketball transfer portal.
Yeah.
Kid don't like this and they'll go do something else. Like player has the power these days, and in the high school level, I mean, the parents have the power, and they read and they come to games and they watch and they ask questions, and it's no different than kids moving to certain situations for magnet schools or baseball program. You just don't hear about it as much because it's our kids that will pick up, or families will pick up and go to a different situation because they want to put their kid in a better academic or athletic better place. I mean, like if I had a kid, I want my kid to play in a program that's being pumped nationally, and if he's good enough to get the tutelage and training that some of these programs in Georgia get, because there's quite a few of them in Georgia that are big time and high level. So it's just doing the right things and trying to do the right things all the time. Being about the work is what we like to call it. Keeping the main thing.
There it is.
Growth and development of kids.
Yes. I love it. How much time you got, Coach? How you looking, baby?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
You good? Okay. And so I want to go back to this run that you made to defending your title.
Yep.
After the national circuit was done, you run off 18 in a row. And when I tell you my man's a great coach, man, you win 18 in a row, dog, is huge.
Because the kids, man. Kids win games, man. Kids win games,
man.
Kids win games.
You show them the way to do it.
Right.
And I think you've done a hell of a job, man. Tell me how that run was. And that game before the championship game was against Grayson, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me about the lead up to that Grayson game and then the championship game.
Well, I would say the state of Georgia has the best basketball talent, hands down, right now. I'm sorry. I'm super biased, but I'm trying to speak facts, man. And so on this run that we was on after Christmas, every Georgia team we play, man, and it's one of the things about playing at a Wheeler or a McEachin or Norcross, you're gonna get everybody's best every single night. Every single night you're gonna get everybody's best. So there's no off nights. There's no nights that you can kind of coast. I mean, we played, two teams in our region, North Cobb, who, probably wasn't on anybody's radar, but we beat them by 7 at their place and by 4 at our place. By 4 at their place and 7 in our place, which is only 2 single-digit games we had in our region. But it just to show that the talent level and the preparation of coaches around the state is crazy. So I strongly feel like my kids were up for the challenge because they get everybody's best effort every single night. And that's hard to do for 15, 16, 17-year-olds to be on edge mentally 18 straight nights and, being yelled at, being, called everything but a child of God, ref not calling games their way, shots not falling. It's all part of the game. And you got to be, resilient, and you got to be mentally dialed in what you're doing. So on that run, man, I kudos to the guys, kudos to our kids, because a couple of times it could have went the other way, but they found a way. Again, I don't think people quite understand what it means to have to be perfect mentally every single night, especially when you're dealing with teenagers. But playing in the state of Georgia, who have the best basketball talent, no matter the situation, is really, really tough to do. So we go through the regular season, our region schedule, and we get to the playoffs. Talking about that situation where we beat Milton in the first round, and Milton played great 2.5 quarter basketball, and we had a crazy run to kind of put them away. But Milton had some struggles toward the back end of the year. They lost some games in their region tournament, and against what people would say lesser opponents. But when they come play Wheeler, those guys put their super capes on, and that's how it is every single night we go out and play. But it took a Herculean effort in the third quarter to get past those guys, and then we go to North Gwinnett, and we got a rogue ref is what I have.
A rogue ref.
That's what I was trying to call it, because
how they let him in?
The state send those guys for playoff games, and he came in with what the kids. He was on the shit. He came in like telling kids to, tuck their jerseys.
Sure, yeah.
It was during warm-ups when guys had shooting shirts on over their uniforms, and he picked the, I guess he picked the right one, but he picked the wrong crew to kind of talk to because he lit a fire under our guys to say, you know what, we know about you, we've heard, and we know you are from that Gwinnett County area where that school is from. So, long story short is it was a 10-second violation where my entire bench stood up. It was like yelled 10 seconds because it did not call. So he stopped the play, talked to an official, and turned around. He said, "Technical foul, Willis bench." Look on the screen. It shows 23 or 24 seconds. Should have been 10-second violation. So anytime it's in the basketball game and a play like that happen, you're going to get everybody in the 10. Ref, that's 10, that's 10, that's 10. Just, not yelling at him, but just saying 10 seconds.
Look up.
Right.
Yeah.
And instead of calling the 10, he blows a technical foul on my bench. And in the state of Georgia, a bench technical rolls up to the head coach. So I get the seatbelt. I have to sit, and all night. If you go back and look at that film, you see this guy running down the floor, staring at my bench when the play is going on over there, just watching to see if I was going to stand or anything. So he kind of targeted us. He did. He targeted us. At the end of the basketball game, it's a 25-point game. There's no reason for me to talk to him. No reason for me to say anything to him. That's why
25-point win. 25-point win.
25-point win. And after no time is on the clock, I walk to the end of the bench to go get behind our guys to go shake hands with the other team because the guy on the coach of the team, Matt Garner, is a really good friend of mine. I had a freshman in the game. The senior was on the bench telling him to go dunk the ball. It's like 2.5 seconds. And I say, listen, don't go dunk that damn ball. And the kid went like he's about to dunk the ball. And I said, Coda, don't dunk the damn ball. Turn my head. I start walking his way, and that's when we hear the whistle. Technical foul on the coach. He went and he wrote in his report that I said, expletive, you're terrible. He wrote in his report that I said, you're effing terrible. There's no time on the clock. The game is over. The other two refs were walking off the floor. He gave me a technical foul with no time on the clock. Remind you, the one for the 10-second violation, it rolls up to the head coach so that it looks like I got 2 technical fouls. If you get 2 technical fouls in any game in Georgia high school, you're suspended for the next 2 games. This is a second-round playoff game.
Get out of here, coach.
What's your recourse when they have? What's your recourse?
That's the craziest thing. Georgia high school doesn't have one. They don't have a appeal process. They said technical fouls are judgment calls. So it's the craziest thing ever that the Georgia high school or that ref can be judge, jury, and executioner. And me as a coach or admin principal don't have a way to fight a rogue ref. That's exactly what he was. He was a rogue ref. And
that's the question, man. Okay, when you say rogue, but at the same time, I know you're trying to. Did you ever get down to the bottom of it? Did you ever figure out what the reason was? Was it about you? Was it about the other team?
He's from North Georgia.
Yeah.
North Georgia, you know what goes on in North Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, you said it before. We live in a world where we have a little racism.
Yeah.
So, I'm 100% sure that's what it was.
Wow.
Never got a chance to have the conversation with the guy. Tons of people reached out saying that dude is like that. Yeah. Tons of people moved out and said he was, that's what he do. Even the other coach was like, Coach, he said he started to ask me before the game, do I know this official? Because he have issues with them during this year because he makes the game about him. At the end of the day, man, he couldn't get us and help that team win a basketball game, but they knew who was next in line. The biggest game of the year, people want to see McEachern versus Wheeler, and that's who was next. So not only did I get ejected because the original technical was called on my bench, but it was supposed to be for an assistant coach. After he called a technical foul on me, one of my assistants went crazy, and he had some choice words for him. He gave him a technical. So not only was I out, one of my other assistants was out, who is the former college coach who could have been of service in those 2 games against McEachern and Grayson. So it happened. Adversity set in. What you gonna do about it? You gonna cry, tuck your tail, or you gonna get your troops ready to play? So it's just like we ready to go. And again, kudos to our staff, Coach Shep. He was great versus not only versus McKeachin, but also in the Final Four versus Grayson. Man, the guy, he did a hell of a job. He got us through a really, really tough spot and a lot of success, in the playoffs. I have to give him his credit where credit is due because he was great. He was great. So that adversity set in, man. And we've been we fought it all year. Things was good, things was bad, things happened, but that was the icing on the cake. Me having to sit out Elite 8 game on the road versus McKeachin, and then a Final Four game at Georgia State, and I couldn't be nowhere in sight. So Coach Rich and I, man, we sitting at my house. My daughter's on Instagram Live, so we can see it real time. And if we saw something,
you couldn't be in the stadium.
Couldn't be in the stadium. I had an earpiece in my ear. I had a friend of mine behind the bench. My daughter's on Instagram Live next to him. We're watching it, and we're barking out instructions through the phone. Coach Shep didn't need it. He didn't need it. He just at halftime we was able to phone call and have some adjustment things going on, which I think helped. But shout out to our guys. Coach Shep was big time, man, and we couldn't have got it done without him.
Wow. That's amazing, Coach. I didn't know that. That's amazing. Yeah. And that I said that adds to the season that you had, man. That's awesome. Awesome.
And what school was this against?
The technical foul issue?
Yeah.
North Gwinnett.
Wow.
North Gwinnett.
So my parents are kind of crazy. They found dude. They found his church, and they found we almost rolled up on him.
Hey, what?
Yeah, we did. No lie, we almost did. It took my mom to talk me out of it because supposedly he's a pastor at a church. So he came in my house causing hell. My thing to do was to roll up in his church and cause hell during service. But
I know that right.
Cooler head prevail.
That is something there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So you win the state champion against who was the state championship again?
Cherokee. We beat Cherokee in the state championship. The team from our region. This just shows you how tough our region was this year.
Y'all blew them out too.
Play well.
Yeah, y'all
play well.
Yeah. So you win your third state championship, man, and at Wheeler. I'm sorry.
Yeah, third at Wheeler.
Yeah, at Wheeler, man. So then you go and play some more national games?
Yeah, we played in the event called the Throne. It was a new event that they did. It was more so a warm-up game to what we played in DC, which is like the public school version of the Geico. I think the Throne has the ability to become really good, just new first year. A couple of things that need to be tweaked to make it a really, really good event. Georgia High School allowed us to play in those postseason events because of Wheeler and Miller Grove and Pace and Milton got a chance to go play in Geico, but precede us. So we was able to do both of them, and it was a good event. They had 16 teams from all over, quite a few Georgia teams, but I think they tried to expand it too big in year one. And then we played Camden, DJ Wagner's high school team, and we was there at the McDonald's All-American game with Isaiah from that Sunday all the way to Wednesday morning day we played. So we didn't practice for like 4 or 5 days because the whole coaching staff was gone. Isaiah was gone. We came back on Wednesday morning and played a game. And DJ Wagner hit a crazy shot to beat us, but we was playing without the McDonald's All-American game MVP. He didn't play. And then he was going to Nike Hoop Summit out in Portland when we played up in DC. We won one, lost one there. So all in all, man, it was a great season. We got a chance for some young guys to see a part of high school basketball that a lot of kids don't get an opportunity to see. Get an opportunity to go play in postseason events every day. You don't get an opportunity to win a state championship every day. You don't get an opportunity to go and enjoy the McDonald's All-American game with one of your kids, because that doesn't happen every single day, man. Historical run, historical season, man, and it was fun to cap it off in DC. A game that probably, we should have won.
Y'all had him. I watched that game, Coach.
Yeah, game we should have won. But, when you got a team and your best player didn't play, in that game, making excuses, but for that particular team, he was a big part of what we did, and he was missed. And it is what it is. You live and you get the experience, and it'd be what it be. So it was great, man. And I wouldn't change it for the world, but it was a long year, man. So now we went from almost a whole year. We went from September doing preseason workouts, October in summer league, and then we didn't finish until 2 weeks ago. So a little rest, and then month of May, and then we were back at it again in June with high school team camps.
Okay. So I've read somewhere, man, you say basketball coaching is 24/7, man, 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
So, Coach, I just want to know, man, what do you like to do outside of basketball, man? What do you do, man?
I'm a cheer dad. My 9-year-old is into
golf
competition cheerleading.
Okay.
I try to be. Oh yeah, and that'll be the thing that that's all I want to do right now is go hit a golf ball. I ain't very good. I'm trying to get good.
Neither one of us are. It's hard to get good.
It's hard to get good because I don't have the opportunity to play enough. But right. I went into the range today. I probably go every other day.
Okay.
Need to get out and play myself. But I tell you one thing I can do. I can tap some people's grass, and I'm really good at that. Really good at that. Yeah. Really good at tearing up grass. Put my foot on it to make it look all right, and then and then going and look for my ball. But once you hit 1 or 2 shots that look pretty good, and toward the back end of your round, it's like, you know what, I'm coming back again next day. So, but no, man, spending time with the family, my wife and Sanaa, my baby girl, my daughter's over at West Georgia, just being around them and trying to hit a golf ball, man. That's all I do right now.
You girl dad?
Girl dad.
Yeah.
Girl dad.
Yeah, we all girl dads here, man. Girl dad, and I got 2 boys as well, but we girl dad. I got 4 girls.
4 girls, yeah. I have 4 girls. 2 biological, 2 steps. So
yeah,
you got
ain't no step. You're dad. That's dad.
So I'm dad. And I'm always broke because they always need something. And that's why you talking about the advance to the college game. I might damn have to one of these days.
Right.
They don't get out of my pocket. Shit. So.
I don't believe in steps, man. Especially when you take the job, man.
Respect.
Absolutely. I'm with you. I'm like you, Coach. I got 3 of them as well, man. So we 3 and 3.
Yes, indeed.
Beautiful thing. A beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing. So we're gonna have to get out and get some golf balls together, man.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Get some grass up. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's it right there. That's it. The thing that get me, I don't know why I get mad, because like, dude, you ain't good. Like, what am I getting mad for?
You got to tell yourself that. You got to tell you.
We just competitors, man. That's all it is. Just competitors. Look,
I had my club the other day. I was like, that's not what I envisioned. Like, So,
you talk trash out there?
I ain't good enough for that. No.
I ain't good either. I'm talking a little bit though.
No, I'm trying to keep my head down. I'm trying to hit the ball, so I ain't got to go look for it over here and over there.
That's right. That's right. So, professional sports, man. Who you roll with? What's your team? Let's talk NFL and NBA.
I'm a Falcons fan, so I die.
Woo!
It ain't a bigger Falcon fan than me. Like, I've been since I was 7 years old. I've been going to games, man. Fulton County Stadium, Dion.
Tell
I've been a Falcons fan, so people saying they not Falcons fan no more when Vic left. I mean, like, I love Vic, but I'm a Falcons fan. I like Vic because he was with Falcons. So
it's the front of the jersey, not the back.
I mean, it is what it is. So that's the only football team that I root for, and I always hope the Cowboys and the Saints lose every Sunday.
Oh, somebody talk to this man. This man is preaching. Go ahead, man.
I see Q back there. That's my man, and I'm cool with that. But when he was playing, I hoped he lost. But when he was at Georgia, I'm cool.
Yeah.
All over here now.
That shit just gave me highs. I don't like it.
Hey.
Nah, for real, seriously, man, I'm a Falcons fan through and through, and any team LeBron James on, that's who I'm rocking with.
Yeah. We had QC on the show too. That's him and G talking a lot, man. And at the same time, he enjoyed it for life. He enjoyed everything too, man. So I appreciate that, brother. I do. I'm a Falcons fan myself. And grew up on it. That's what all I do.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So Hawks, we down 5 right now.
You're down 5. Yeah, I see it on the corner over there.
5, man.
That's a must win right there. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm a Hawks fan. I'm not gonna lie. I follow them. I'm an avid, NBA watcher. I watch the Hawks. I think I went to almost every playoff game when we had that run with Joe and ISO Joe and Josh Smith and those dudes. I'm a hometown team follower when it comes to basketball, but I'll be lying if I didn't say any team that LBJ is on. I hope he wins. I'm a big time LeBron fan.
What you doing now? What you doing? What you doing?
Hey man, I'm just keeping it real, bro.
Tell me why. Tell me why LBJ, man.
He's the most unselfish superstar to ever play the game.
Okay.
He's the most unselfish superstar to play the game. LBJ came in the game more like Magic than he was Jordan. So the comparison to MJ should have never been. However, when you a pass first hooper and still be the all-time leading scorer in the NBA, that says a lot about your character. Like LBJ used to get ridiculed because he didn't force shots when the game was on the line. Dude made the right play. Compare him to Magic more so than you compare him to MJ because that's really who he is, a pass first kind of dude. He impact winning because he makes dudes around him better. Now, in his older years, he became really, really ball dominant because he doesn't have the same explosive night in, night out. So like he hold on to the ball a little bit too long. But I'm an LBJ fan, man, because in a team sport, you want to have team guys, and he's the ultimate team guy in my eyes. I'm biased because I just Mike was a guy that was gonna go get you 35, 40 if you need to, 50 on a good night, and most nights were good. Kobe is a guy that ultimate competitor, ultimate killer. I didn't appreciate Kobe to his later years. I didn't appreciate Kobe to his later years, who grew to be one of my favorite players. But LBJ, I'm team LBJ all day, every day.
Let me ask you this question then. Give me off the top of your head. Give me your top. Give me your Mount Rushmore in the NBA, man.
Man, current players or just in general?
Just in general. Just give me your guys, man. Give me your Mount Rushmore. Give me 5.
5. MJ.
All right.
LBJ.
Okay.
Bill Russell.
Okay.
That 5th guy would probably be either Shaq or Kobe.
Okay. I respect it.
Tough top 5. I like that. Okay.
Well, if we in a round where we awarding winners, not a bigger winner than Bill Russell.
Yeah.
If we're awarding winners, I mean, you got to put
everything at a toe.
Every finger, yeah. So you got to put him up there. And the most dominant player of all time, outside of Wilt, would be Shaq. Shaq changed the league, man. He just changed it. And Kobe and LBJ for obvious reasons. And then Mike is the greatest of all time. So.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
I can see it. Man, great show. So, Coach, man, you got any upcoming camps or foundations that you want to plug, man?
Yeah, I wish I had that date for my Coach Thompson DPS camp, dribble, pass, and shoot camp. We do that every year at the school. We're probably gonna do it that first week of June when kids out. It's crazy to say it because I'm meeting with my my team tomorrow to start getting the flyer and stuff ready, looking at some dates. That's a dead week for GHSA, so we can't do anything with our group that first week. So it's probably gonna be the week of it. Once I get it, date solidified tomorrow, I'll be sure to pass it on to you guys, man. Hope you can pub it out there for me a little bit. But I do a kids camp every year at Wheeler. Coach Thompson, DPS kids camp, dribble, pass, and shoot.
When you say kids camp, like what age are you talking about here?
Usually I do 3rd to 8th grade. Shy away from the high school kids because they like the phones and they don't want to be active all day. But I'm gonna start doing something a little bit different to incorporate those incoming freshman people. Do 2 camps, one with the babies and then one for the the preteens. So 3rd grade to 8th grade. 3rd grade to 8th grade.
Nice.
All right, Coach, definitely send that information to me, man. We'll plug it on our show until it happens, man. We'll plug it on the show every episode that we have, man. So
we appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. But Coach, man, this has been great, man. I definitely appreciate your time. I got a couple people out here, man, that say you don't have to. My boy James Lil John said you don't have to be good to talk trash, Coach.
I know, right? You're right.
Come on out there and talk.
James, I'm just trying to concentrate, man. I got to do one thing at a time, man. I can't do both right now.
And James also said, man, how hard is it to get to a game? He said we got to go see y'all play, man. So
yeah, I mean, it ain't hard at all, man. Just let me know when the schedule is out. Let me know, man. I have your name at the door, Doc. Come on through. We'd love to have you.
My God, man, that's what's up. That's what's up. I don't know if you see any more out there, Corey.
Hey, man, all I want to know, man, like I say, if you have any shout outs, give me 1 or 2 and tell me if there's any kid I need to have my eyes on at Wheeler, man, for the up and coming season.
Yeah, man, we got a couple dudes, man. Ricky McKenzie, he was up in Omaha, Nebraska this weekend playing in the Adidas circuit with the first live period weekend with coaches out. I got a ton of phone calls and ton of text messages about, Coach, we need to talk to you about your young boy. Ricky McKenzie, 6'5" combo, started for us a little bit last year. He's going to be one to watch. Josh Hill, 6'11", skill forward, face forward, playing really well out there as well. And then one of the freshmen that we had on last year's team who should be next in line to do some good things is Coda Suttle. He's going to be another good guy. I got a lot of phone calls and text messages about him from coaches that was in attendance and people that was watching those guys play, man. So we got a pretty good group. And while we're going to take a little bit of time off, we're going to get back to it and start putting the pieces together for 23-24.
Nice.
Okay, man. And we didn't even really jump into Isaiah Collier, the beast, beast, man. I mean, he's been with you since a freshman.
Yeah,
and like you said, that transfer portal in high school is big.
Yeah,
man.
It's a little bit different lineage with that one. That's actually my nephew.
Okay,
I married his aunt. So
okay. So he ain't
if he did, that's divorce material.
Go get your cousin. Go get your nephew.
Yeah, man. So he been with me for a long time, man. Since I've been around since he was 4 years old, man. He been around this game, growing, and you're starting to see who he really is. The sky's the limit. That dude there, special. He's gonna we'll be talking about him, real soon because he's a good one.
He's a good one, man. He's a dog. He is a dog. And number 1 player in the country, man. So
number 1 player in the country.
Yes, sir, man. So, Coach, man, blessings to you, brother. I appreciate you. Like I said, we will be linking up, man. So we hit the links and
yes,
get
sir.
on these
yes, sir.
man. Best of luck to you in the upcoming season, man, and to you and your family, man. We appreciate you.
Jay, Corey, I appreciate y'all for having me, man. Appreciate y'all.
It's been great, baby. All right. For everybody out there, man, Kanisha Davis, my dog Jay Glenn, Crystal Wright, James Littlejohn, A60, Matthew Wright, Roddy Littlejohn, man. We love y'all, man. Thank y'all for rocking with us, baby. We'll check y'all out on Wednesday at 8 o'clock, baby. We are out. Peace.
Later. Nice.